Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Citizen Naira, the platform where we speak truth to power. We're going to touch on a number of topics tonight. Let's see if we can get that up. Just give me a minute. We just want to just show you one or two things that's really pertinent to what we're talking about. Now, not that one. You see on the left side of you, on my right side, top right side, as you're watching, it's showing you the powers we possess as citizens. First and foremost, as ever, you will be seeing that coming across the screen on most of my broadcasts from here on. The reason is because I want you to be serving as a reminder for us as citizens to know the powers we possess, and I'm going to read those powers to you straight away. Offhead, as ever, it says, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Section 14(2)(a). That is a very important power. You and I, we are sovereigns. It is time we begin to exercise those powers. Now, how do we exercise those powers? 14(2)(b) says, the participation by the people shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. That means that part of the provisions of the constitution is that you are a sovereign. And as a sovereign, you have the power to hold your governors to account, to question them, to monitor them, to be as a person overseeing what they're doing. But it requires collective effort from all citizens in 774 local government areas. Very important. That's why it's scrolling across the screen, and I'm going to leave that there from now on to make sure people know this information. It's really important. I want you to have that information. You can freeze frame it. You can pause the broadcast at any time and take a screenshot and share it to family and friends, because that is really what we need to do. Now, the key point of today's broadcast is essentially a direct message to President Tinubu. Now, what you see on the screen to your left is the dollar. Everybody knows the sign of the dollar. That's a dollar there. If you look at the dollar, it is crushing. It has literally crushed the Naira. And it is exemplified in what you see. For every $1, it is now worth 1,000 Naira. Which means that whatever goods that we want to buy in Nigeria, because we are trading, our government has now accepted an illegal currency, because it is not a legal tender in Nigeria. The dollars is sucking out the wealth of the nation. And that is what is crushing our economy. We will never have any manufacturing base for as long as we rely on the dollar. We are converting our money to dollar. We are going to pay money to now get dollars. People have to pay for the services on top of the cost of the dollar for the changing of the money to dollars. More Naira, which devalues yet still our Naira. It is much better sense we delink our Naira and link our Naira to gold. We must. This is a direct message to President Tinubu. You must act now. You must, for the sake of 133 million people that you promised to serve. You are telling us to believe in one Nigeria, but one Nigeria is not demonstrating the trust in Nigeria by using and insisting that it must be our legal tender as stated under section 21, which I'm going to 20 subsection 1. Let me give you that now, President Tinubu, because we need you to really be alert on this. Section 21. The currency notes issued by the bank shall be legal tender in Nigeria at their face value for the payment of any amount. Furthermore, it states, and you need to listen to this, President Tinubu, it shall be an offense, section 24. It shall be an offense by a time punishable of not less than 5 years for any person to falsify or make counterfeit banknotes. Section 25. A person who refuses to accept Naira as a means of payment is guilty of an offense, liable for conviction, a fine of 50,000 Naira or 6 months imprisonment. 6 months imprisonment. This is the law as stated within the Central Bank of Nigeria Constitution. President Tinubu, we need you to act immediately for the sake of our people. Our refineries must be fixed. It will only cost 6.8 billion Naira to fix the 4 refineries. Yet, we are borrowing 2.1 trillion Naira to buy processed oil from countries. What we are spending on oil, on importing oil, is over $11 billion. and we are only making $600 and something million from the sale of crude oil. It makes better sense to fix our refineries, President Tinubu. That is why we have been embarking on and insisting on and reminding many about Operation Fix the Refinery, which I'm going to bring on the screen in just a second. Operation Fix the Refinery. So, Operation Fix the Refinery. Give me a minute. President Tinubu, we need you to really act on this. As the leader of the black race, most populous nation in the most populous black nation on earth, you must and you cannot afford to ignore this any longer. You cannot, President Tinubu. Because of the fact that the dollar, the naira is now worthless. The more we spend, we will be spending more money importing oil. We are better off fixing those 4 refineries, President Tinubu. Port Harcourt Refinery 1 and 2, Warri and Kaduna. Spending 6.8 billion naira. 6.8 billion naira. As against the 2.1 trillion naira spent on importing processed oil that will run out and we'll have to go and buy more with yet more loans. You are indebting the nation if we do that. It does not make economic sense. It's in fact economic madness. With all due respect, President Tinubu. With all due respect. Now, what I want you to look at on the screen. So these refineries, it is of the utmost importance that you fix it. Our manufacturing base is the only way. One of the experts on channel this evening said that it is about building, and manufacturing is the only way we are going to get a secure economy. Training our people to do and build the things they need for themselves and exporting around the world is the way for recovery. And one of those ways is fixing the refinery. By fixing the refinery, we don't spend any money on importing. We export to the entire Africa. As the most populous nation, as the largest nation in Africa, with over 200 million people, we can do this. And it will be a healthy profit for us, President Tinubu. So just on that. But going back to the point I'm making here, the dollar is crushing the naira that represents the most populous black nation on earth, dominated by colonials. The symbolism is all there for all who know to see. Message to Nigerian leaders: wake up from slave mentality. Stop spending dollars in Nigeria, a so-called sovereign nation. If we are indeed a sovereign nation I should say, why are we spending dollars? Are we the 53rd state of the United States? Are we? We need to know. We are not. We are a nation, a so-called sovereign state. The only legal tender, according to the central bank notes, states section 20, subsection 1. The currency notes issued by the bank shall be legal tender in Nigeria at the face value for payment of any amount. People are asking for payment for rent, for school fees, and so on and so forth in dollars in Nigeria. That is actually an illegal act. And they were asking for payment for airplane, for flights. Today, on channels, they said it, live on channels. Go and check the report. They were asking for dollars for payment of flights in Nigeria. President Tinubu, this is not right. This is not right. We're going to show you again. I need you to know why you must take collective action, remedial action right now. It is 1,000 naira to $1, which means that the dollar is crushing the naira. The more we use the dollars in Nigeria, which by the way is not a legal tender, it's actually an offense. 6 months imprisonment, President Tinubu, for those who are practicing this. We need you to work for the 133 million people who are impoverished. The palliative that you're giving is going to be worth nothing because of what you see on the screen. For every 1,000 naira that people put down, they only get $1. And increasingly, because you are insistent that we trade in dollars, we're not going to get the true value. We are spending more money. People will spend more money to go out for dollars, and they are going to have to pay for that service. devaluing the naira yet still. It makes no economic sense, President Tinubu. We must link our naira to the gold. Over 600 tons of gold lie inside as mineral reserves. The Ghanaians have done the same. They've linked their cities to gold. We must do the same thing. Look, the colonials, the French and the UK and the US are doing exactly the same thing. We might be criticizing the Francophone countries. Now we must address the problems we face as UK and the English-speaking countries, because we are being oppressed just the same, using economic means. They are using economic means to strip us of the wealth of our own nation. When 1,000 naira of your money is only worth $1 of theirs, it means whatever you produce, they are going to get it at dirt cheap prices. President Tinubu, we need to act on this. It's time to free the whole of Africa. And as the president of the most populous black race in the entire world, you are not doing this just for citizens of Nigeria alone. You are doing it for the whole of Africa and indeed black people in the entire world. You must begin to work together with other African countries to free Africa from the bondage that we're in. We are still enslaved in our own land. What you see on the screen, when 1,000 naira is worth $1, it means that our resources, they will buy it on the cheap at our expense. And the monetary mechanism they're using is oppressing and extracting wealth from Africa and impoverishing Africans, and they're blaming us for that. This can no longer be allowed to continue. Whatever hold they have on you, it is time to actually call this out collectively. Don't do this on your own. All African countries need to come together to address this, because the French, on the one hand, are stripping wealth out of Africa, of the 14 or 11, let's say 11 of the 10 African countries that they have forced to sign the French colonial pact. And the US and UK are now using economic means to strip Africans of our wealth that is in our mineral resources. When they devalue our naira, it means that they are able to buy more of our resources and indeed take it for free from us. And they come back and sell the finished product to us. We are being impoverished. President Tinubu, we need you to act on this. And those of you, the citizens, again, as you're watching the screen, what is scrolling across the screen there behind, it is hereby accordingly declared that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. 42C. The participation by the people in the government shall be in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. You need to memorize that as citizens in all 774 local government areas. We've translated it to Yoruba, into Igbo, and Pidgin English, as well as English. So that's 4 different ways in which it's been translated. And you can see all of that on Citizenwide, the platform where we speak truth to power. We'll come and share it again. We're also going to be touching on about the Federal Account Allocation Committee. You need to be checking the monthly account coming into your local government area. We've done programs where we've shown you how to access that yourself. You can do it on your mobile phone. But all of this means that we must begin to actively participate in our governance on a daily basis. These 2 powers on the screen are powers that you need. Study it, memorize it, share it across to everybody in your community right now. And also ensure you're a member of the federal and member of the local community association, community association. You have to be, and you need to stand together collectively in each of the community. Begin to call your local government chairman, state and assembly members, House of Reps, and senators to account. Call them to a meeting. Remind them of your sovereignty every month. That way you can begin to hold them to account. This is something we must do collectively. President Tinubu, back to you. This is a symbol of our enslavement. When 1,000 naira of our own money is only worth £1 of theirs, it means that our resources are going to be bought on the cheap. And those who are forcing us to, those who are working with you, who are in your government, who are ensuring that our refineries don't work, they are impoverishing our people. And I want to say this message to every Nigerian. The more you use dollars inside Nigeria, the worse you are damaging the naira in your own pocket. The more you use, when you go to parties and you use dollars, you are damaging your own economy. You are making it the price of whatever you produce, whatever comes out of your country becomes cheaper, worthless. It's time to wake up. President Tinubu, we call on you. You need to resolve this. You must delink the Naira from the dollar with immediate effect. With immediate effect. All African countries must delink from all colonial systems that is being used to oppress us. All African countries, bar none. All. President Tinubu, as the leader of the most populous nation, you can take the lead on this. I'm not here to abuse you, but we are showing you the facts. And your picture is there next to the 1,000 Naira, showing that how the West truly sees you. How they see you, the so-called president of the most populous black race. You are underfoot to them. To them, you are underfoot. You need to understand what that means. They are treating you like a child, President Tinubu. They are treating you like a child. You, not only you, the entire black race, and the entire nation we call Nigeria. President Tinubu, we need to act on this urgently. Urgently. Please take those words, those pictures in seriously. I don't want to say too much more. Please, we urge you. Free Tani Olorun that was arrested in Ilorin because of the Muslims trying to state that the constitution supports them. No, please make it clear to them that there is no religion is adopted as state religion. Ilorin, people in Ilorin can do shit, they can do Christianity, they can do Islam if they want. There's no one religion that supersedes any other. Please, we'd like you to look in that. President Tinubu, once again, we are urging you. The state of play is what you see on the screen. What is represented there is truly the state of how the colonials perceive that they are still controlling Africa even 60 years after the so-called independence. President Tinubu, it is time to wake up. Please study closely what I am telling you. You will find that there is not one shred of lie in what I'm telling you. You are watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We're here to speak truth to power and to enlighten people. Please share this broadcast if this resonates with you. I'd like you to, those of you watching, please take a screenshot of section 14.2 and 14.2c, freeze frame the picture, take a screenshot at any point. It will stop. You can take a picture, share it in your community. All 774 local government areas. We need to do this as a matter of urgency. And we need to begin to participate in our governance on a daily basis to hold our governors to account. We'll come and talk more about that later on. But right now, President Tinubu, the 1,000 Naira that Naira is now become, it means that the US can buy Africa, our reserves, our gold, for cheap prices. San Falano said they were trying to, the federal government of Nigeria were trying to say for the whole land of a man, they were going to pay something like, I don't know, some ridiculous money, 100 Naira per acre. The man ended up getting 250 million Naira. Now, those who bought that land in the end, they are going to make $500 million profit. That's not how you run an economy, President Tinubu. That the money, for the benefit from our resources has to come to Africans. You are literally giving our money away to Americans and to UK citizens and to French and to Europeans and Chinese. You are giving it away at the expense of our people to whom those resources belong. That is unjust. That is unfair. That is truly unfair. And if you say you're speaking for the people, the actions that is currently being taken does not speak well for what you're saying. It's very different from what you're saying, President Tinubu. We're not here to abuse. We're here to ask you and implore you to look closely at those figures. Look at it. Let me read it to you again. Dollar is crushing the Naira that represents the most populous black nation on earth, dominated by the symbolism, dominated by colonials. The symbolism is all there for all who know to see. Message to Nigerian leaders: wake up from slave mentality. Stop spending dollars in Nigeria, a so-called sovereign nation. Again, I will reiterate section 21. The currency notes issued by the bank shall be legal tender in Nigeria at their face value for the payment of any amount. And critically, 25 states, section 25, any person who refuses to accept Naira as a means of payment is guilty of an offense and liable on conviction to a fine of 50,000 Naira or 6 months in prison. It is there. President Tinubu, we're counting on you. We're waiting for your action. If you truly are going to work for the people, you need to, the first sign of that is to stop the devaluing our Naira by linking it to the dollars. We must link our Naira to the dollar. The BRICS are separating away from the dollar. And if we link ourselves to the dollar, they are simply going to be stripping our resources out, because they will spend less of their money to buy more of our own resources at cheap prices. You are hurting our economy by trading in Nigeria in an illegal tender called the US dollar. Please, we have to put a stop to it. Our refineries must be fixed. We need to become a manufacturing base. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen Naira, the platform where we speak to the power. When you get the broadcast, please do share. What are your thoughts? How do you feel? Leave your comments. Let us hear from you. Please, is what I'm saying, does it make sense? Does it resonate with you? If so, leave a comment. Subscribe to Citizen Naira. Hit the notification button. And of course, give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people. Please, I urge you again, as you're watching, go ahead. Subscribe to Citizen Naira. How do you do that? We're going to show you in just a couple of clicks. Right. So subscribe to Citizen Naira. Hit the notification button. Give us a thumbs up. We're going to show you one more time. So one more time, we need you to go what and head there and do what? Subscribe to Citizen Naira. Hit the red button, hit the notification button, and of course, give us a thumbs up. That way, we reach more people. If this resonates with you, share it. Share it in every community that you know. If you share it again to 100, share it to another 100 to reach more people, because these are really critical information that we're trying to share with you. Now, here we go. Please, sorry, I'm not going to close that off. I didn't mean to have that there. So, in closing, what's left for me to say is thank you for watching. You've been watching Citizen Naira, the platform where we speak to the power. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, and of course, give us a thumbs up. And of course, finally, keep it locked on. Thank you.